Starting, sustaining, and having a successful small business is hard, but you already knew that. But wouldn't it be great to have a podcast that talks to and digs in to the people who've made it? Problem solved. This is Local Vibes, small business success stories. Talking to successful small businesses from around America. You'll hear awesome stories about how they got started and how they survived and thrived online and in their communities. We find out their special vibe. Welcome to Local Vibes. Brought to you by UltimateOnlineMarketing.com. Now, here are your hosts, Pat and Angie Cherubini.
All right, let's do this.
Hi, everyone. It's Pat and Angie Cherubini with Local Vibes. It's our brand new podcast, and it's going to feature small business success stories across the country is what we want to do.
So what we're trying to do is just shine some light on small businesses, local businesses that have a story, and we want to let them tell their story.
We've worked with all kinds of businesses over the past 24 years. And, we haven't been in one particular niche. So we've gotten to know so many different people and so many different businesses that have awesome stories to tell. And nobody ever tells them. You never hear about it, and nobody ever says it online. They don't talk about it online because everybody's too afraid to talk about it online. So we're going to bring those to you.
We are going to start off by getting ourselves out of the way. And we are marketers, but we're not wanting to do a lot of marketing. We're talking to the businesses and let them shine. And to do that, we need to at least put our story out there, how we started, because we've been doing it a long time. We've been online for a long time. And we want to help businesses, guide them into what they could do better, ask them what they've done that works, share it with everybody so everybody can grow.
Yeah, maybe there's something that a business is doing that's similar to yours or even not similar to yours that, you can get an idea about.
So this is going to be very conversational. We are not professional podcasters or broadcasters, but we think that we can be professional without being perfect. We're just going to do what we do. We're going to ask questions, have conversations, and see where these things go. And if you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know. And we're going to kind of walk a winding path and figure out where this thing is going.
This will be on YouTube as well. So if you can do us a favor and like and subscribe below so you can see and be notified when we drop other podcasts and videos.
Hurry up, do that now in case you don't like it.
Do it now.
And we already got that out of the way.
Okay, so, obviously we wanted to start out by telling you about us because we are a small business too. And we started out, and I think we have a pretty interesting story on how we started out.
Yep, we're going to break our own rule where we say our customers don't care about you. They only care about themselves. But since this is small business success stories, we're going to tell you how we got here and how long it took.
So let's get started about us.
Boom, let's go.
So how we got started, I guess I'll probably lead that off because I was the one who really took the reins and started this. After I graduated from college, I went and
Don't say the year.
I'm not going to say the year. It's okay. I've already told you how long we've been in business, so you can kind of have an idea. Do you want to date me on everything?
I dated you back then.
Well, anyway, I was in marketing and advertising for various companies, and I didn't like it. I liked creating, and I liked creating things for the business that I worked for, but I didn't like being told what I needed to do and when I needed to do it. I've always been, I think, a little bit more independent, and I think you have too. So I decided to take a leap of faith and do it on my own, especially when I got pregnant for our first child, Chase. I knew that I did not want to stay with the company that I was with just because even though I was with Jenny Craig first, and, a women-based company didn't really take care of their women, especially when they got pregnant. So I knew right then that I did not want to stay there. And I knew I had the background of designing and advertising. So, I completely forgot about this. I remember you bought me a program when I first did it. My first computer program.
We literally did not own a computer yet. That's how long ago it was. Not, a computer was something that was just being a tool that everybody had.
Yeah.
So we literally went out and bought a computer one day.
And then you bought Corel Draw for me?
I bought her Corel Draw, which was a book about this thick. I don't know if you can see it. If you're listening, it's like 6 inches thick. Angie does not read. Lately.
Don't say that, because I have changed that in the last 6 months.
It was very overwhelming, and it was
crazy.
Huge book. It was about website design, and it was literally just her sitting in the chair and figuring things out, and that's how it started.
Yep. And I got very frustrated. So at that point, I went and I worked with a local internet service provider and kind of learned the ropes of, back then it was called HTML. Strictly HTML was what you designed on. And it was very slow because everything was dial up at that point. Gosh, that's really dating us.
I can still hear that sound. Some of you
kids may not even know what dial up was.
The dial up sound.
But it was
56K.
Oh, it was so slow. So I basically learned how to design bare minimum. Long story short, we kept going, and what I would do is I would find friends or family members that needed a website. So I would create it, and I started, really cheap in the very beginning, and then just as we went, I increased it. My price worked. After about a year and a half, I knew I wanted to get Pat home from what he was doing, because what he was doing was not fulfilling for him, was not what he wanted to do. And I'll let him tell that in a second. But after about a year and a half, I had gotten enough car dealerships. That's what we started with, were car dealerships that I could update on a monthly basis. And I knew that would be a monthly income. But why did you quit your job?
Well, I was a boat mechanic. I had dropped out of college because it wasn't going where I wanted it to go. I have always just known I was going to own my own business, even in high school. I bought my first courses in high school. I can see their faces. Tiny little ads and Carlton Sheets, real estate. I can remember actually being in high school buying those
I didn't know you
programs.
bought that.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of that guy's name. Tiny little ads. It was on TV all the time. And I bought it, and that's because, it was just, I don't know if entrepreneurs are made or born, but I just had it in me. I wasn't going to work for somebody else. Military was out of the question because I wasn't going to take directions from somebody else. I still don't do that very well. So I ended up going to a boat school, learned how to do that. I didn't know anything about motors. It was just because I wanted to be on a boat in the summer and
we love that.
Live that lifestyle, which I learned very quick was not, if you own the boat business, you are working when everybody else is out on their boats.
And then when you're not, everybody's bringing their boats to you that's in the family and friends.
Find you. So I did have my own business. I had a partner. I learned a lot of things with that. I learned a lot of things that I didn't like about partnerships. But eventually when she came to me and just said, I don't want to go back to Jenny Craig after her maternity leave.
I was already done. And remember, I was already doing it. And we were to the point, we had something like 6 dealerships at that point. And we were taking pictures. I was taking pictures and updating the websites. And I took Chase with me as a baby. And, in a local area like we are, everybody loved it. I mean, that was a hit. Like they always say, the babies and the pets are a hit. Well, it was in a local dealership. I couldn't do it in Columbus, but I could do it in our area in Newark. And after about a year and a half, I came home to him and I'm like, I just can't do all this by myself. But I mean, we could stay status quo the way we were and keep going and I'd be fine. But I told him, I'm like, I know that we can grow. I know that I can get more dealers. So at about a year and a half into it, I came home and said that, and it took you 2 seconds to let your partner know, hey, I'm not coming back?
Which is the second question we have for ourselves. What's the most memorable moment?
Oh,
that's mine.
That
when
is.
We had talked about it's time for Angie to either just do what she was doing and do no more, or try to grow, and she needed my help to either help her or take some of the kid stuff off of her hands. And
yeah, because I had to teach him. I had to teach you from scratch.
Right. So we had a little, with my business partner, we had a little disagreement, that I didn't like the way things were running. And I just said, this is going to happen. Let's just get out of it. And I basically paid him to get out of this partnership. It was just a job that wasn't worth much.
No.
And I said, hey, I'm thinking about leaving. And he said, good, go. And I left.
Best thing we ever did.
2 days I was out of there and back home, and talk about both feet. Full go. We were in it, and that is the last time it was my own business, but that was in 1998.
Yeah, because I started it in 97.
Neither one of us have had a job since then. So we have been online, work at home before all this stuff where everybody's working at home now. Mm-hmm. People have thought we were crazy for 24 years now.
I would say not only that was memorable, but I would say for me, I think when our kids decided that they wanted to be a part of the business, because I'll tell you, for years and years, we thought that they wanted nothing to do with our business,
which was fine.
And yeah, we've definitely raised our kids to be independent thinkers and do what they want to do, not what society's telling them to do or the school's telling them to do or us. But they came to us and wanted to be a part of it. So to me, that was one of the most memorable moments too.
So we've had 2 working for us. The third just now is saying that she wants to come in too. So we'll see where that goes.
So excited about that. And a future daughter-in-law too.
This is true.
Is with us, Hannah. So we're happy to have everybody. Next question is, what's a common myth about our job or our field of expertise? There's probably a ton.
Probably the most, especially a long time ago before it was normal, was that we were just at home in our underwear doing nothing.
I think half our family thinks that.
I think it's true. So we still do that, but that's what most people thought. There's a lot of work. The worst thing about it, well, let me go back. The best thing about it is that we're at home all the time and we never have to clock into anybody. The worst thing is we're at home all the time and we never get to clock out.
Right.
Day, night, weekends, vacations, we're still tied to these laptops.
We're trying desperately. That's probably, if anybody knows me personally, I just got over, I guess I'm still going through battling colon cancer. I'm in remission, which is wonderful. I think everything's taken care of. But where was I going with that?
I don't know. Just out of the blue. That's the way things happened. And her diagnosis was one day she was fine, the next day she was in the hospital, and that's the way it worked. And we had to change. To be at home.
We were able to be at home and change our focus, and actually it made us more focused than ever. So.
It's kind of gotten us motivated to do this podcast again because this is our second try.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think, and I don't know why I got off on that already. Maybe I looked at the wrong thing, but I guess another myth about
life with Angie,
whatever. Another myth I would say in our job is that people think that we're trying to take advantage of them.
Right.
All the time, businesses, all the time. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of marketing agencies that do that and take advantage. So, that's been hard, is trying to overcome that.
Everybody now calls themselves an entrepreneur, an internet marketer, and 90% of them now are not even from this country, and people still give them money all the time. It's definitely sullied the name of internet marketing, but we try to get around that and lead with our results and help people and do go above and beyond.
That's why we created a course. to help you. What are some of the challenges that we faced when we first started?
Finding clients has always been the challenge. It's, to this day, it's the hardest part.
When we first started, I mean, this is a story that I always tell the kids, and they really can't even fathom it. Most people can't fathom it. When we first started doing website design, which that was the first service that we offered, when the only search engine that was around was Yahoo. That was it. Google wasn't even, it may have been a thought at that time, but in order to get your website on a search engine on Yahoo, you had to actually physically go to the category that you wanted to be in. If it was there, if not, I think you could create it or suggest it or something. It wasn't
even really a search engine. It was a directory.
Yeah, and you just went to that page and it said suggest a site at the bottom. So you'd suggest a site. And literally, like in our field, there was maybe, I think one other person, maybe Liz in Granville was listed. There was nothing. And I mean, that was... Yep. That was weird. And so then it would take like 3 to 5 days, something like that, for you to get indexed.
It was just, hey, I want to be there. And they'd put
so that was a challenge. That was a challenge, but definitely getting businesses to decide that this was something that they needed to do.
That far ago, they thought it was a fad.
I had a dealer. It was called Indian Mountain Pontiac at that time, Pontiac Mazda.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist, but I spent two full years going after that dealer. Yeah, I did in the beginning. I tried to get them as a client for 2 years. Finally got him to give me a chance. And the whole time, the guy that ran it, what do they call him? The owner. Yeah, the owner. He kept saying, "Oh, this is just a fad. It's never going to stay." And thank you to Jim Miller, who was the one that got us in there really and got our foot in the door and helped us stay there and we had him for quite a while before the
crash.
That and then the big cars.com and places like that came
Cars.com, Auto Trader, they came in and just like
the big guys.
And, it's what happens now that big, back then they were the big tech in the car industry and they come in and they take out the small guys and, we're still standing. We've pivoted and that's what we're trying to do with small businesses now, trying to get those local businesses that help their communities to pivot when you have to and keep going.
So are there any resources that helped us get to where we are now? I mean, we've got basically a shit ton of resources.
Resources are just online.
If you'd look at this, what is that? Shelf. Our shelving system over here, you'd see like 50 books. We read, we watch videos,
are what I learned from, webinars. I'm in Facebook groups now. It's pretty much all I do is listen to business and marketing podcasts and follow mentors and salespeople and take, they're professors. I'm a student. I take as much from them as I can and then try to pass it on to the people I try to help.
And honestly, that's one thing, our kids did not go to college. At Chase, let me say that again. Chase went for about 1.5 years, and then Blake decided he wanted to do what we do. And Emmy is deciding, we believe, to do what we do. But, God, I lost my train of thought again.
I'm not going to help you out.
I can't believe I lost
resources.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. All the courses that he's taken, numerous courses. I bet we've spent thousands on that. And, the kids have had access to that. Yeah. So
today,
kids can do
I've
this.
I've spent way more on my education than I did for my college and my tech schools and my kids' college, what they went. It's probably 6 figures total.
Well,
it's a lot, but all of that is available for free online. You just can't, it's hard to find and it's hard to track down. That's why we buy courses that have everything in a line. And that's why we make courses to get all that information in one and only give the parts that you need.
So along that line, then, who would you say is your mentor? I would say these kind of people are our mentors.
I follow
who's your
a lot.
favorite?
The one I've been following the most for the longest is probably James Schramko. That's who started me in SEO, internet marketing. I can't think of anybody before him. He's Australian. He's still around. I still listen to things that he teaches. Ryan Stewman is another one that I've been following for years. I was in a little course of him. I'm not in his courses right now or in any of his programs, but he's blowing up still. He just keeps growing and growing. And then I listen to all the marketing guys, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Bradley, Dan Kennedy is the newest one that we're in, but he's the oldest one. Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, even though we kind of compete against him.
Gary Vee, we love.
But, Dan Kennedy is like the OG marketing guy that's been around forever that I've got into a little bit, but just recently we've gotten into a lot more. And, he is just, it's his stuff from 40 years ago still works today. When you put it online, it's still the same thing, which makes me think that at 20 more years, what we're teaching is still going to be working. Oh,
I 100% believe. So what do you wish everybody understood about our business? I guess what makes us unique?
Ourselves, it's that we're a family business. We're a family business. We're a husband and wife team that have been doing small local business, and that's it.
And we haven't killed each other yet.
It's been close. This is how close we work together most of the time until recently. But, the fam is our jam. We love small businesses. We love going to eat at a mom and pop rather than going to a chain. It's hard to shop anywhere that's not a chain anymore, but those big box stores are going to kill America. And that's, politics aside, it's just they're eating up the world. And I don't want that to happen. So
that's a big reason why we're doing this.
The small guy relevant and help them stay relevant. If you just sit back and do nothing, you're just going to get eaten up.
And we are an agency. I mean, we have agency clients that we love and we take care of them, big agency or big clients. But we've kind of switched to, how can we help the small businesses across the country, those close to home and across the country. How can we help them do the same thing that we do for the big companies? I mean, most businesses out there don't have the deep pockets that the dentists and the eye doctors and the podiatrists have.
We've developed a way of running ads to a website that captures leads, that, the whole thing that we do for our clients at a decent price because, we have the experience and the expertise in doing it and getting results. And the results are good enough that they stay for years, most of the times. We are teaching the same thing to businesses that just can't afford that.
Yep.
Businesses that can't afford not to do something or they're going to go out of business. So we want to widen our impact by helping more people.
Yep. So, Pat, have you ever thought about giving up?
About 10 minutes ago. Daily.
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone else has been around for, I know lately in the past 2 years, that's been huge for most people and for a lot of our agency clients. That was huge. But we've been through as a business, I would say, some major things. When 9/11 hit, that was a major impact for us. We went from like 18 dealers and we went to half in
overnight,
a month.
Practically, yeah.
We knew it was going to happen once that hit and nobody was buying anything. Nobody did anything. Mm-mm. Nobody did anything. Nobody bought anything. So it just was pure panic across the country.
Housing crisis, when everything crashed, everybody stopped spending money and just almost daily people would call and cancel, just say they're going to sit back and wait.
Yep.
And, 2020, same thing happened. And, we're still digging out of that. We still, we saved a lot stuck with us a long time. We got more, hopefully it keeps going like that. But, there's been a lot of times when we're like, holy shit.
That's where I think it's going to be interesting talking to a lot of these businesses. I mean, they're all survivors. All of you are survivors who still have a business now after the past couple of years that we've had. So
I can remember, I don't
interesting.
remember who said it, but it was, you found it, and it was somebody that said, no matter what, keep the doors open. You remember who said that to you?
I don't remember.
Somebody said that.
Are you kidding? Do I remember things like that?
But that's always stuck with us. You do whatever you can do to keep the doors open until you come around. And, my mentor, Ryan Stuman, always talks about the force of average. Once you're too high, something's going to try to bring you back down to level. So you want to keep fighting, try to keep that force of average at bay, and keep trucking on.
Yep.
And that's probably going to be a common theme as we get through some of these stories.
But it'll be interesting. And there again, not only how businesses got started is going to be interesting, but it's, how did they cope? What are the things that businesses did to change direction and to accommodate what was going on and to make money? That will be interesting. I mean, for us, we had to switch things around with what we were doing for our agency clients because they were dentists and podiatrists. And
no, even before that, we were all website design, and then SEO started becoming a thing, and that became my thing. And then, there were ads, Google ads, and then came Facebook ads, and, now you can advertise on YouTube, and there's lead generation. It's constantly Instagram, things change, and they're going to keep changing. And that's one of the cool things about what we do, but it's also gets really old when you got to keep learning stuff.
It does, but it keeps the
Oh,
brain going, so that's not a bad thing. What advice would you give to someone who was starting a business in our type of business? What if someone came to us and said, "Hey, I want to do what you guys do. How do I get started doing this?"
Well, I mean, we've done this with our kids. That's the way they started. We said, here we had information available to us, but it's available. Google. How do you build a website? How do you run Google ads? How do you run Facebook ads? You can find it all for free and then offer to do it for free. Get somebody.
Like I did in the beginning.
That's the way we did it. That's the way lots of internet marketers still to this day do it. It's just find somebody that if you can, and say, "Hey, I'm trying to learn this. Let me do it for you for free. You pay for the ads, and try to knock it out of the park."
I would say, though, the one piece of advice I can give on this, and we know this, and our kids are learning this too, don't do too many for free or for very low price, because you honestly, 9 times out of 10, you can get taken advantage of. And it's a lot more work with people like that. It's good to build your portfolio. Like, say, if you're watching this and you're wanting to start doing website design for people, which you can still charge people. I mean, I know a lot of people think, well, there's Wix and there's Squarespace and all these different builders. You can still charge. If you're good at doing that, if you have an eye for design, you can still charge people to set up those websites for them, or like Shopify and stuff like that, like what we do. You can still charge. But don't cut yourself short on it.
Do not have a website to this day. And it's getting annoying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think that Facebook can be their website, and it can until Facebook
shuts you down. Oh, that's another thing that happened.
Yeah.
You got shut down. That was crazy.
Someone stole my account and spent $15,000 off my credit card advertising for some fly catcher from Vietnam.
So if you don't
it took me 3 months to get it back.
If you don't have 2-factor authentication and some on your social media accounts, do it now.
And like we said, things are changing. Facebook is on the downside. It's still massive, but they don't show your Facebook page. So you have to advertise. Yeah. So, that's more into our core stuff where we're talking about what we sell, but that is why we preach, have a website that you own and control, and then use Facebook and everything else to point to it, because Facebook's not what it used to be.
No.
And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon.
So, I mean, I cannot believe we're like to the end of this already, of
almost
the questions
30
today.
minutes in.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. Hopefully somebody listens
Usually
to us.
we go like on and on and on and on. you go on and on and on and on. So that's good. So if someone's looking to do anything with us, or if you know of a business, if you yourself are a business, or you know of a business that has a unique story, something that you think everybody would love to hear about, definitely comment below. If you're on YouTube, comment. If you're watching this on Facebook, comment below. And there's multiple ways to get in touch with it.
We're here
with
to help.
us.
Ask us if you need help with your business. Just ask us. We will,
Yep.
at the very least, point you in the right direction.
Yep.
Most likely, we can help you.
Yep. All right. So I would say episode
one's a wrap. The
is
pilot is
done.
in the can. Now we got to get everything fixed up and get this out. So we obviously did, if you're hearing me right now.
We thank you for listening, and we really look forward to the rest of them. We got to come up with an outro.
This is day one. Hopefully they get better from here. It always sucks the first one, and that's another
Tip.
advice is just do it. Put it out there. We weren't really ready. I was just finishing setting up this studio.
Like, do it. Let's just do it.
And it was like, we got the mic set, and when I said, let's go, push record, and we're going. So it'll get better.
Yep.
Or it'll get worse. Who knows? So
Thanks for watching and listening.
have a great day, and keep the local vibe alive.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Local Vibes Podcast. Brought to you by Ultimate Online Marketing, where we help small business owners like you build the ultimate system that generates more leads, phone calls, and most importantly, more customers. Join our group by going to ultimateonlinemarketing.com/group. There, you'll find live discussions, tips, podcasts, videos, and just plain real talk on how you too can be an ultimate online business. See you next time.
Bye-bye.